Hello, friend, and welcome to Inside the Dark. Thank you for joining me. An update on an Amber Alert issued out of Newark, Delaware, for a 3-year-old little girl who was reportedly abducted June 10th, just took a very dark turn. Police issued an Amber Alert for 3-year-old Nola Dinkins after they say her mother told them she was abducted by a strange man who took her at gunpoint, and an extensive search for Nola took place overnight. Police said Nola's mother told them she was driving with Nola when Nola became upset in the back seat, so she pulled over to calm her when a strange man came out of the woods, held her at gunpoint, and took Nola away. Driving away in a vehicle with a blonde-haired woman driving. Police held a briefing to give an update on the Amber Alert, when they delivered quite the twist in the case instead. They said that the Amber Alert for Nola had been canceled because investigators found that Nola's mother was lying. And now they've launched a homicide investigation instead. Here is how it all started.
Following breaking news at this hour, chances are you may have seen the Amber Alert on your phone in Newcastle County. A desperate search for this missing 3-year-old little girl right there, believed to be kidnapped at gunpoint.
So, Hank, the family, who was in the car when they're driving down when they pull over? Were both the mother and the father in that car?
I don't know about the father. Well, police are very clear that the mother had pulled the car over to speak with the little girl, Nola, who was kidnapped. The father's the one that called it in. I'm not sure that he was in the car now. We hope to get further details from Newcastle police. But they got their hands full right now, guys. They've been dragging this net across Newcastle County all night long. I mean, take a look at the video. This was shot over the course of the last couple hours. Newcastle County police detectives swooping in on nearby Liberty Point apartment complex. Maybe 6 minutes from here where we are at county police headquarters, about 2 miles from where police say the little girl was taken. They were possibly following up on a lead. Greg Gilroy grabbing that video. They did not say much, did police, but were clear that they had not found the little girl in that search. And this is her, 3-year-old Nola Dinkins. Police say she was riding with her mother when her mother pulled over to speak with her. And that's when police say a bald white male in his 40s approached at gunpoint and took Nola in the area. Again, the 500 point of Gender Road in Newcastle. Police say he was wearing a black sweatshirt, gray basketball shorts, and escaped in either a dirty or rusty black Ford or Chevy SUV. Police issued this update late last night.
The white male was in a dark-colored SUV, possibly a Ford or Chevy, and was driven by a white female. The white male is described as approximately 40 years old, bald, with peach fuzz hair. The vehicle had possibly rust or dirt on the exterior of the vehicle, and the vehicle drove away with Nola Dinkins. Nola is 3 years old, approximately 3 foot tall, weighing approximately 25 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes.
Yep, so take a very good look at her. That is Nola Dinkins. She's 3. Let police know if you have seen her over the course of the last 12 hours. Again, this happened last night at about 7:15. Police add that they do not have a tag on the vehicle being driven, that dark SUV, by the alleged kidnappers. They also say they've got no reason to believe that Nola or her mother are any relation with the kidnappers, but they are looking for those two people, this bald man in his 40s, dark sweatshirt, gray basketball pants, and whoever that female was, they say, that was behind the wheel of that dark SUV. If you know or have seen either Nola or that SUV, call Newcastle police immediately. Time is of the essence, guys.
Certainly is. Troubling series of events. Let's get her home safely.
Keith and Aaron, you may be waking up if you live in Newcastle County with an Amber Alert notification on your phone. I received that as I drove into the area early this morning. There are also several messages expressing that there is an Amber Alert, an active Amber Alert on the interstate, all in search of this missing 3-year-old girl taken at gunpoint. Let's show you video of the scene last night, as well as a picture of 3-year-old Nola Dinkins. This happened around 7:15 last night in the 500 block of Gender Road. Newcastle County police say a white man in his 40s who was armed with a handgun took 3-year-old Nola Dinkins from her mother, got into an SUV, and investigators say a white woman with blonde hair drove them all away. Investigators described the SUV as a dark Ford or Chevy with rust or dirt on it. Nola Dinkins was last seen wearing a white T-shirt, leggings, and white shoes. And investigators told us late last night that there is no relation between Nola Dinkins and the two people who took her. If you have any information at all, or you see Nola Dinkins, you're urged to contact 911 immediately. Reporting live in Newcastle, Neil Fisher, NBC 10 News.
And here is the news report, including the latest update given by police, announcing they canceled the Amber Alert.
That breaking news, police are just about to give us an update on a 3-year-old girl who they say was kidnapped at gunpoint.
Investigators tell us it happened last night in Newark, Delaware. Newcastle County Police about to give us an update. We've been watching this picture for about the last hour and a half, in fact. This news conference scheduled for 9:30. This is Andrea Botterbush of the Newcastle County Police Department.
Looks like some of the reporters, photographers still getting set up here, but 3-year-old Nola Dinkins, there she is. There's her picture. An Amber Alert was issued for her last night. Officials claiming that a couple kidnapped her while holding her mother at gunpoint. Again, this happened Tuesday night around 7 o'clock in the 500 block of Gender Road in Newark, Delaware. Again, that is 3-year-old Nola Dinkins. We have been waiting all morning for police to give us an update. Here we go.
With Newcastle County Division of Police, here to discuss the Amber Alert for Nola Dinkins. Yesterday evening, approximately 7:15 p.m., patrol officers responded to the 500 block of Gender Road for reported kidnapping. Nola's mother advised that she pulled over after Nola became upset and was attempting to comfort her when an unknown white male armed with a handgun approached her and then took Nola. The suspect then fled in a dark-colored SUV driven by a white female. Ultimately, an Amber Alert was issued for 3-year-old Nola, and the Newcastle County Division of Police Criminal Investigations Unit, along with the FBI, began an intensive investigation that continued throughout the night. As a result of that investigation, detectives determined that the initial account of the investigation, or of the incident given by the mother, was false. The Amber Alert is now canceled, and there is no danger to the public. Sadly, this incident is now being treated as a homicide investigation by the Maryland State Police. Our detectives are continuing to work closely with the FBI and Maryland State Police. Additional information will be released as it becomes available. We'd like to thank everyone who has called in and provided possible tips and information. All media inquiries related to this investigation should be directed to the Maryland State Police Office of Media Communications. Thank you.
Are there any suspects on the homicide? No questions?
Not at this time.
I'm sorry.
A shocking update there, in fact, from Newcastle County Police revealing that this reported abduction Amber Alert has turned now into a homicide, that the Amber Alert has been canceled as the report had been deemed false. No suspects at this point. Again, we're talking about a 3-year-old girl by the name of Nola Dinkins, who reportedly last night around 7:15 was taken at gunpoint by someone when the mom had pulled over her car.
Yeah, she told investigators at that point, calling 911, that Nola became, I guess, upset in the back seat, and then an individual came out of the woods and kidnapped her daughter at gunpoint. But again, a shocking turn just after 11 o'clock this morning, as we found out that Amber Alert is over and that this is now being treated as a homicide by Maryland State Police. So still a lot of questions with what has happened, and we're hoping to get more information from investigators.
That's right.
Soon.
Yep, they didn't have much to say right there. Didn't really take a question. They had no suspects at this point. The FBI also apparently working on this homicide investigation now. We've been covering this, of course, since 11 p.m. last night, all morning long, and now a new twist in this case that we will continue to follow.
This story went from bad to worse very quickly. Then, just a few short hours later.
Breaking right now at 6 on CBS News Philadelphia. A tragic discovery in the search for a girl reported missing in Delaware. A body is found after police say her reported kidnapping was all a big lie. Good evening, I'm Don Bell. Yuki Washington is off today. The search for the little girl has led across state lines. The mother of Nola Dinkins told police her 3-year-old daughter was kidnapped last night in Newark, Delaware. The search went into Cecil County, Maryland, where state police have reported that a body has been found this afternoon, but the remains have not been identified. Just minutes ago, police released this mugshot of the little girl's mother, Darian Randall. She is now charged with filing a false report. CBS Philadelphia reporter Ryan Hughes has been following this story all day long. He's at the Maryland State Police Barracks. Ryan, what's the latest?
Don, good evening. We're waiting on another update from Maryland State Police, and you said it at the top of the show. Homicide detectives, they are waiting right now for that body to be identified. According to Maryland State Police, we are told that human remains consistent with a child, they were found this afternoon. Now, police aren't giving that exact location, but we're told the remains were found in a vacant lot in Cecil County, not far from this location. This all comes after an intensive search for 3-year-old Nola Dinkins. She was reported missing to Newcastle County Police in Delaware last night. This case has since crossed state lines into Maryland, and Maryland State Police are leading the investigation with the help of the FBI. An Amber Alert was issued last night, which led to an intense search. We're told that Nola's mother, she told Newcastle County Police she pulled her car over on the side of Gender Road in Newark to try and calm her toddler down. We're told she told police the 3-year-old was upset. That's when the mom told police she was approached by a man with a gun and that he took Nola and then drove away in a car with a woman behind the wheel. Now, 11 o'clock this morning, police called off that Amber Alert and said this was now a homicide investigation. Take a listen to the latest update we received from Maryland State Police.
At 1:45 today, the Maryland State Police Homicide Unit located what appears to be human remains consistent with that of a child. At this point, positive identification of those remains has not been made. We are waiting on autopsy results from the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner.
And you are now looking at a picture of the mother of Nola Dinkins. Police say her story fell apart, and Newcastle County Police tell us 31-year-old Darian Randall of Newark has now been charged with filing a false police report. She was arraigned today and is now being held on $1 million bail. As for the case here in the state of Maryland, we are told this is an active investigation and charges are pending here. Again, Maryland State Police expected to release another update as soon as we get it. We'll pass it right along. For now, though, that is the very latest. Live in Northeast Maryland, Ryan Hughes. Don, back to you.
A troubling story, to say the least. Ryan, thank you.
At this time, the Maryland State Police have arrested 2 individuals connected to the disappearance of the 3-year-old who was the subject of an Amber Alert in Delaware last night. They are identified as Darian Randall, 31, and Cedric Antoine Britton, 44, both of Northeast Maryland. Randall is charged with first and second degree murder, first degree of child abuse resulting in death of a minor under 13, and other related criminal charges. Randall's currently in police custody at the Newcastle County Division of Police awaiting extradition to Maryland. Britton is charged with accessory to first and second degree murder after the fact, failure to report child death, and other related criminal charges. Britton is in police custody and is awaiting transport to the Cecil County District Court for his initial appearance. Yesterday evening, after the Amber Alert was issued for a 3-year-old Nola Dinkins through Newcastle County Division of Police, after the mother reported her kidnapped in Newark, Delaware, an intensive investigation was immediately initiated. Maryland State Police from the Northeast Barrack, as well as our Criminal Enforcement Division, Northern Region, assisted in this investigation with the information that the 3-year-old lived in Cecil County with her mother. Information gleaned throughout the investigation revealed that the initial report provided by Randall was false and that Amber Alert was subsequently canceled. Information that was gleaned through the investigation of the Maryland State Police Homicide Unit led to human remains found in a vacant lot today at 1:45 p.m. in the Northeast region of Cecil County. Maryland State Police Homicide Unit is continuing this investigation and is leading it with the help of our federal partners at the FBI as well as our police partners in Delaware. And at this point, I do not have any identification on the human remains, but they are consistent with those belonging to a child. And that is all the information I really have for you at this point.
Have authorities ever been called to that home before?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Elena, the second suspect you named, do you know what the relationship between that suspect and to the child is? Where you can you elaborate?
Police believe Randall is the mother of the 3-year-old, and the 44-year-old Cedric Britton was living in the same house, and he is believed to be her boyfriend.
Did they have full custody? I understand the father is in
I cannot answer that, I'm sorry.
Okay. And as far as the child abuse charges and murder without an ID, how did you guys handle that?
In consultation with the Office of the State's Attorney in Cecil County, our homicide unit investigators had enough information gleaned through the investigation that connected these two individuals with the disappearance of this 3-year-old.
So they were arrested in Delaware, but the mother and the 3-year-old live in Maryland?
The mother remains in Delaware in police custody, and the boyfriend is in Maryland state police custody.
So, but the 3-year-old lives in Maryland with her mother at this time?
That's what we believe at this time, yes.
Do we know why the mother was in Delaware at the time of the arrest?
The part of the investigation involving the Amber Alert and the false report that this mother allegedly gave is all still under investigation, and any information or any questions you have about that part of the investigation should be, you should probably ask the Delaware authorities.
Can you tell us a little more about how you knew that the child who this body was in the park, and more about the specific area?
It was information that was gleaned throughout the investigation in the leads that our homicide unit investigators were able to obtain that led them to the site where the human remains were discovered, which was in a vacant lot in Northeast.
Can you be any more specific about where that lot is? Do you have a street name or anything?
All of that is part of the ongoing investigation.
We are choppers over apartments.
Ever since Maryland State Police began their part of this investigation, they have been searching neighborhoods, they've been searching community parks. They were combing through areas in Cecil County looking for any signs of this infant. It wasn't until evidence was obtained through the investigation that led them to this vacant lot.
So we don't know if there's a very local community park?
I don't believe it is. I can research that for you, though.
Where was the 44-year-old man when you got him?
Maryland State Police were assisting with the Amber Alert part of the investigation when they learned that the 3-year-old lived in Cecil County. They responded to the home, and that is where they made contact with the 44-year-old man involved in this investigation.
Were any other kids, or do any other kids live in the home with the two that you mentioned?
I do not know if there are any other individuals that live in that home.
Is she cooperating with police?
And yes, both individuals have cooperated with police since the beginning of this investigation.
Does Ms. Randall have any other family members in the state of Maryland, and are they cooperating with police?
I don't know about any other family members.
Does she have any priors?
I don't know that either. Okay.
Do you know how long they've been living in Maryland, or?
No, I'm sorry.
Do you have any plans of releasing them?
If I can get it, I absolutely will. Yes, I'm working on a news release now, and I hope to issue that, within, I promise, 30 minutes.
At this point, we don't have positive identification of the body found.
We do not have positive identification of the human remains that were found.
And she'll be extradited here tomorrow. Is that correct?
I cannot tell you when she will be extradited. I just know she's awaiting extradition.
In addition to the mother, when you say that he moved, does he move publicly where we would see him, like in a parking lot over here?
That I don't know. Yeah.
Is that something you guys do know now? Or
Not really. Boyfriend's last name, and this will be out in the news release shortly. Cedric is his first name, Cedrick. Britton, Britten, 44 years old of Northeast.
Do you think we'll get his mugshot by today?
I can't guarantee it. I can try though.
Sure. And then as far as you're waiting on the medical examiner to determine...
Yes. Yes, our investigators are waiting on the results of the autopsy to not just only identify the young, what we believe to be a child's body, but also cause and manner of death.
Do you plan to give another update tomorrow when you have that information, or
Yes.
have you follow up with them?
Yes, as soon as I get the identification, I'll follow up with everybody. But this is a tragic incident, and for everybody involved, the Maryland State Police, all the investigators are working tirelessly to resolve what happened here and why it happened. So our hearts go out to the community and to all of those involved, and we thank you for being here.
Thank you for joining me for this episode of Inside the Dark. Take care, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, where I'll be waiting to take you back inside the dark.